Welcome to the Escaping the Accountant's Trap podcast. It's a podcast to help accountants, CPAs, and bookkeepers escape what we call the accountant's trap. It's where accountants are not getting paid for their value and are forced to work long hours with high demanding clients with little pay. Well, how do you escape the trap? One way is the topic of today's episode, and that's by leveraging AI to handle the low-level tasks so that you could focus on the more interesting work. To help me with the discussion, I've invited Shane Westra. He's the Chief Product Officer at Canopy Tax, which is a software to help accountants organize their practice. Shane, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Adam. Great to be here.
Yeah, so I'm excited to dive into this topic of AI because for a couple of reasons. One, I think AI is this term that a lot of people are throwing around, but not really understand what it means. And then the second reason I want to talk about this is how can we as accountants leverage AI to grow our practice? So let's kick off the discussion. Could you tell us exactly what you mean by AI when it comes to leveraging AI to handle the sort of the low-level task that accountants and bookkeepers are doing now?
Yeah, great question. And I think for a lot of people, it's been a very common buzzword and it's mentioned a lot in the media. And I think a lot of people just have a lot of confusion or misunderstanding about what is it or what will it be. I think a lot of us are kind of caught in between the spectrum of realizing that like Alexa and Siri today have a lot of incompetence and can't even answer a lot of the things that we do today, but yet in the media, there's a lot of talk about AI replacing lots of jobs, and especially in the accounting industry, that's been a very common topic of, to what degree will it be threatening to careers or aiding? And so I think for us, at least with Canopy, we've looked into AI a lot to really see, how can this be used to facilitate jobs and really reduce a lot of just the mundane tasks that accountants do today. There's so much regarding just simple communication, document analysis, a lot of different things that really don't require too much, true intellect. And so really our perspective is that AI will be a tool. It will enable accountants to do more than they've ever done before. And they'll do that by taking care of a lot of these very simple tasks, taking that off their plate so they can focus on the higher level functions, whether that's client advisory services or getting into other areas of the business, going up market, dealing with clients that are where they can provide a little bit more of this white glove service to them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our approach is, just letting AI do the stuff that really no one wants to do anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, is this idea from what I'm gathering from you is that it's this idea that you can take technology to replace a lot of the menial tasks or low-level tasks so that you could focus on higher value tasks. I mean, it sounds like this scary, especially when the media talks about it, it sounds like this scary sort of doom and gloom, especially for accountants. Oh, it's going to replace everything that we do. But if you think about it, AI is almost just sort of another iteration, another level of technology. It's almost like when the 1800s, everybody rode horses everywhere. And then the early 1900s, cars came out. It's the same ideas to help you get somewhere, but one is just faster and better. So this is just another technology concept like the car that can help people or computers, especially, accountants a long time ago, obviously used like green bar paper and literally kept the books using physical books, which is where the term came from. And then computers help them do that job much faster. So would you agree that this is just another step in that evolution, that accountants shouldn't view this as a negative thing, but as something that can aid them in helping them grow their practice?
Yep, exactly. I think those are great analogies where there's the computer in general, spreadsheets, email, all of these things are tools. They help do the job more efficiently and better. So I strongly believe that AI won't replace accounting, but accountants that use AI may very well replace accountants that don't use AI. Similar to as accountants today, if you're not using even the modern technology that is around currently, then you're at a disadvantage. So I
Yeah.
do think it's important for accountants to lean into this and realize how powerful it can be to them to make sure that they can have a better practice than ever before.
Got it. Okay. So I know that you're the chief product officer of Canopy Tax, which is a software for that accountants can use to organize their practice. And I'm assuming that you guys are embracing AI and building that into your software. What are some examples of these low level tasks that can be accomplished or taken off the plate of an accountant or bookkeeper that that AI can help with?
Yeah, great question. There's a few that we've built already, and there's a lot more on the roadmap. But just some examples, for example, one is with communication. Working with clients back and forth, writing emails and messages and chat. There's so much that AI can really help with. So a lot of accountants writing, very professional emails, maybe is not their strong suit or just something that just takes more time than they want to provide. And so we have generative emails. And so you can provide just a quick summary and say, hey, ask for all the tax documents from this client. And AI can just have a very professional email written just within seconds that you can then review, changes needed, and send along your way. And so, that's one that we've released, and it's got a lot of usage on a daily basis. People love it, and it learns. That's the thing too with AI, is it learns based on behaviors.
Hmm.
And so, the more people use it, we can refine it. It learns your tone and voice to become more like you would sound. And so that's one of the first things we did. Another one is regarding documents. So of course, there's a lot of documents that flow through an accounting firm. And so whether that's the initial documents that a client uploads or any subsequent artifacts that they need to put into the system, we can now parse these. We can classify them. We can use that to put them in the right folders, the right structure, and then looking forward to the roadmap a little bit, we will take that information to know if when a client uploads a document, does that resolve a task that we can say that's been done, and maybe that triggers the next task,
Hmm.
whether that's for the client or for the practitioner to act upon. And so a lot of this dealing with workflow and just making it seamless, just helping them understand what's the very next thing that needs to happen based off of what's been uploaded. And then another one is regarding reporting. And so we have a module that we call Insights that shows reports and dashboards. It's really just all the information for your firm at your fingertips. But reporting traditionally requires a lot of knowledge to set filters, and you need to know the database field names. And so we've taken that away and we just use natural language search. And so you can just say, hey, show me all the tasks due this month, or show me the clients that are performing the best, or the clients that are performing the least, that we need to maybe increase their prices or maybe fire them. And so just using natural language search is an easy way for just the average person that may not be an expert on report generation to deal with his data, to learn from it, and to act upon it.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Can AI be used to help come up with tax strategies or suggestions on what the client could do to improve the state of their business? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. And that one for us is something we're working on right now, so it hasn't been released quite yet. But we're looking at how can we marry up, the tax laws together with the proprietary data that is still kept very safe and secure and not shared within these engines, to really marry these two concepts to provide that advice on what needs to happen. One of the things that we're working on is this concept of a co-pilot. And it's essentially an assistant that just knows everything about, yeah, tax law and the business and your clients, and that you can ask questions and get answers immediately to provide guidance.
Hmm.
And this is still done in such a way that the accountants are the true experts. And so they use this as a tool to do some of the heavy lifting, but then they can provide these answers to the clients, tweak them, change them a little bit. And so this co-pilot concept, if you imagine a chief of staff or maybe a very intelligent administrative assistant that knows everything about your business, that has a photographic memory, and that is available 24/7 to bounce ideas off of and to ask questions. So that is what we're building into this practice management software,
Wow.
is the ability to just ask it anything, get a response, and then you know how to, just more efficiently interact with your clients and provide better service than ever before.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay. So, on the along the same lines of AI in the future, where do you see the accounting profession in 10 years?
Yeah, great question. I think AI will really allow the industry to open up and be more valuable than ever before,
Okay.
because artificial intelligence can take away a lot of the mundane tasks, the things that historically have taken so much time. That opens up people to become more experts and to focus more on the clientele that they prefer dealing with. For example, whether that's client advisory services, or maybe you want to go into more of a niche type of audit um, type service that you want to provide. Those are now options. It is something that will allow the practitioners to really just choose, who they want to serve and who's best for them. And with that is a lot more of that in-depth expertise, whether it's client advisory services or even taking a step further, for those practitioners that are acting as a fractional CFO, for example.
Mhm.
Before you had limits on how much you could really do in that environment because there's just so many companies that you can have in your brain at one time. But maintaining the data and being able to parse all that and kind of present this information in such a way that the accountants now focus more on decision making and
Mm.
guiding, as opposed to just dealing with spreadsheets and data import and some of those things that would really be the bulk of time going forward. Now it um, you know twists that narrative and says, the accountant's in control and can really focus on those higher level tasks such as the advisory services.
Mm. Yeah. What's interesting, my co-founder Jeff, he started as an accountant, I believe, in the early '70s, and he said that accountants traditionally, but before the age of compliance and transactional work, that was their job, was to
Mm-hmm.
advise. That's why you hired an accountant. But with all the tax regulations, everything that came in the next few decades, accountants transitioned from being an advisor to being the compliance person and transactional person, which sort of, in my opinion, I think a lot of people's opinion is almost a waste of time of the accountant
Mm-hmm.
themselves. The accountant, especially from their client standpoint, their client wants them to provide that higher level advice. What do I do? Should I hire this person? Should I raise my prices? Can
Mm-hmm.
I buy this piece of equipment? Should I expand to a second location? These are questions that most business owners want their accountant to answer, but most accountants are buried in transactional and compliance work, which they don't even like anyways. No, most accountants that I've talked
Mm-hmm.
to don't look forward necessarily to tax season, other than that's really the time when they're going to get paid. But
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a way for them to truly be the financial advisors at the highest level, for their clients. And I think it does provide a lot of optionality as well. If you do want to be a full service um, accounting practice, and if you still want to do the 1040 work, it also will facilitate that to be a lot easier to do than ever before, and especially combined with the modern tools such as a client portal that's easy to use and interface with, to have self-service opportunities for kind of the lower end, more recurring tasks, such as 1040 work, that, if you still want to handle that, then that at least makes it easier to do
Yeah.
and to really essentially automate most of that and allow you to focus elsewhere and at least have these options to do that financial and advisory type of business and to become an expert. It's been interesting too to see a lot of practices really want to become very specialized in certain areas. That this is opening up a lot of opportunities for them to not only become experts in their clients, but certain genres. You know, we've heard of some that, their specialties are with optometrists, or maybe with, capital equipment for farms.
Yeah.
And they can then use artificial intelligence to become experts, not only on the financials, but to even broaden it to just the business in general, and knowing that those industries are coming up to speed very quickly, to be able to have that additional knowledge to guide those financial advice and decisions that they recommend.
Mm. Okay. So going back to Canopy, tell us what Canopy is and why somebody should choose it over, an alternative software.
Yeah, for Canopy, it's really a firm operating system. It's like everything you need to manage your practice. And so for us, that's CRM and your client management. And so it's where you store all the information regarding your clients, and especially where you have a lot of clients that you might have. They might be business owners, but then also do personal taxes. And so those relationships are very well defined. It's also where all the documents come into. It's the client portal, so it's the experience that your clients have to
Mm.
have those initial proposals and engagements, and to understand what services are being agreed upon, pricing, communication, and all of that, and then getting all the information from your clients. What do you need? What you're looking for? A place for them to upload their documents, much more securely than email or any other method. And again, like I mentioned, we're using AI to then classify those documents, put them where they need to be automatically, to look at those documents and then learn from it. What did they upload last year? What do they need to upload this year? Maybe they uploaded something last year, a form that they didn't have this year, that we can remind them, hey, well, what about this and this? It's also the way to just really manage your workflow, your projects, your tasks. What needs to be done next? How do you then allocate your resources? That's been one of the biggest challenges. Just too much work and not enough staff. So how do you really know that? How do you see that
Mm.
graphically and visually, to see who's doing what, and if you need more staff, or if you just need to organize it better? Or maybe there's certain work that you can slice and dice and understand that what work is profitable and what work is not. And so it's really everything that you need to do to manage your practice. We don't get into tax prep or bookkeeping or HR services, but beyond those three, we aim to be the one-stop shop for everything you need.
Interesting. Okay. So if somebody listening wants to check it out, where do they go?
So canopytax.com
Okay.
is the URL. So check that out. And also, I think there's a lot of firms that have used just legacy products that are on-prem, that don't have those modern capabilities, such as a really refined mobile app for the client portal,
Mm.
payments. And so, along with AI, just the whole concept of, modern technology that can be applied generally to your business to take things to the next level, whether it's Canopy or others. I think it's very worthwhile to look at what's out there, these tools that can
Yeah.
help you become even better. And, AI is going to be a big part of everything we do going forward as well.
Interesting. Okay. So we'll definitely put that in the show notes, canopytax.com. Well, Shane, we're almost out of time. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity.
Excellent. Well, and to everyone listening or watching, thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with us as we discussed how to escape the accountant's trap. Bye for now.